In this video, I'll be talking about 3-2, using mental math to multiply. When we're using mental math to multiply whole numbers, it's a good idea to look for patterns. This is an important thing to do in math, and mathematicians use patterns all the time to help solve important problems. Look at the pattern that I've drawn out below. We know that 5 times 7 is 35. 50 times 7 is 350. If you notice, this answer is just 35, but because the 50 has a 0 at the end of it, there's an extra 0, which makes it 350. Below that, 500 times 7 is 3,500, which is just 35, but because 500 has 2 zeros, there's 2 zeros at the end. So, let's make a rule from this pattern. Whenever you are multiplying two whole numbers together and one or more has zeros at the end, for example, 60 times 4, you can multiply the non-zero digits. 6 times 4 is 24, and put at the end how many zeros you had in the problem. We have 1 0 in the problem, so I can put 1 0 at the end to get my final answer of 240. If you think about it, 60 is 6 tens. So let's think about tens as being kind of like our label here. So we have 6 tens times 4. Well, 6 times 4 tens would be 24 tens, which is 240. We're going to use this pattern and this rule that we made in the next couple examples. Let's try out our rule in this example. 8 times 400. First, we multiply the non-zero digits. 8 times 4 is 32, and then we add on, at the end of 32, the zeros from the 400. Since there's 2 zeros in 400, I'm going to put 2 zeros at the end of 32 to get my final answer of 3,200. Let's look at this example as well. First, multiply 12 times 5, the non-zero digits. So even though I have 2 digits here, that's fine. I can still multiply that by 5, which is 60. Now, don't forget that since 60 has 1 0 in it, you still have to add this 0. Sometimes people get confused and think there's already a 0 at the end, so I don't need a 0 at the end. This 0 here is because of 12 times 5. This 0 here is because of the 0 in 50, so make sure that you have both zeros. Your final answer to this one is 600. What do we do if both numbers have zeros at the end? We're still going to follow the same steps as before. 6 times 9 is 54, but now I'm going to add zeros from all three of these zeros from both numbers to get my final answer of 54,000. So you can still use this rule if both factors have zeros at the end. Now this example is a little bit different. You don't see any zeros at the end. But what I'm going to do here, and the reason this is easy to do mentally, is I'm going to put the 4 and the 25 together by using the commutative property. So I'm going to switch around the order of this problem. So now I'm going to do 4 times 25 first, since that's 100. Now 100 times 33 is pretty easy. 1 times 33 is 33, and I add my 2 zeros to get my final answer of 3,300. While I did this on paper, you could do these problems in your head. That's what's so nice about this rule, and that's why this falls under lesson 2, which is mental math. I want you to try this one on your own. While this is mental math, at least write down some work of what you would do in your head. So look back at my previous slides to see how I showed mental math on paper. Good luck!